Welcome. Let's continue episode 2 of our discussion on statistics. In our previous introduction, we did mention that a data can be processed, a data can be organized into information so that conclusions can be drawn. So if you are going to organize a data to become an information, you need to use a table. And in the use of table, we'll be using frequency distribution. And the frequency distribution also organizes data in twofold. We have the qualitative and the quantitative. So we have the qualitative data and that of what? The quantitative data. So a frequency distribution for a qualitative data only lists the various categories and the numbers of each category. So for example, we can also mention the population of a nation, whereby we indicate the married men. Then we also indicate the single, we have the divorce. Then this is the category. And the category, we are going to have the number assigned for each category. So let's say in the year 2003, the population of Ghana has labeled married men to be 2,550. Then the single men to be 1,250. Then those who are divorced, let's say 750. So this is a frequency distribution for what we call qualitative data. Just looking at the category, then the number of each category is what indicated. So this is an example of a qualitative. Then we have a quantitative data. This is what we are concerned about in this tutorial. We are concerned about quantitative data, whereby the frequency distribution lists the classes of data and the number or the values assigned to each classes. So normally under this we call it a grouped data. So we handle group data, which is a quantitative, using a frequency distribution. And how do we do that? We do that in columns. So the first column, we can have the variables. And this variable could be the age of people, the height of people, the marks or the score obtained in an examination. So this could be the variable. Then we have tally, which we use in counting each of the individual data, not to make an oversight. So you are going to count in tally, in groups, so that your counting will not have an oversight. Then when you are done, you indicate the frequency. When we talk of frequency, we are referring to how often an item or an element in a distribution appear. The occurrence of an element or an object in a distribution, that is the frequency. So as you are counting, how often are you seeing the height of people to be 5? So if the height of people are, let's say, 10 of them, then that becomes the frequency. So if in this variable we have it, this is just a sample of what we call a frequency distribution table for a quantitative data. So we are going to take a question and see how we can translate this into answers or a solution to a particular question. Okay, so we are to draw a frequency distribution table for the data obtained by 30 students in an examination. So you can see that the variable here is going to be the scores in an examination. Then we have our tally. So you can see that this data is 30. So arranging all the mark to be 30 different variables will be tedious to do. It will occupy a lot of spaces. You remember we are saying that statistics normally help us to group the data to make it look simpler. So we are going to compress this data by using interval. So I'll be looking into the data and see that I have it from 1 up to I think 36. So I'll be taking an interval from 0 up to 9. Then the next will be 10 up to 19. I have 20 up to 29, 30 up to 39. I think I can be able to accommodate all this data in this place. So the next thing to do is to begin to look out for the data that are in this range. So I have all the way 1, 2, we have 3. So I'll have my tally 1, 2, 3. Then I have the frequency to be 3. Then I am going all the way from 10 to 19. So 19 is here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So in the tally we have 1, 2, 3, 4. You cross it, making 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You cross, making 5. So since we are having 2 bundle giving us 10, we need to introduce 1, making it 11. So that is going to be, the frequency is 11. I'll be counting all the way from 20 to 29, 20 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And that gives us a frequency of 8. The last one is we are looking for 30 and beyond. So 1. Okay, this is there. So let's leave that one. 2, 3, 4. So it means we are having 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the frequency will be 4. So this is going to be an extension of 40 to 49. So I'll be having 1, 2, 3. So I have 1, 2, 3. Don't forget we have this one left, which is in this range. So we can add that one to making it 9. And the tally becomes 9. Now when we are done, we need to be able to see that the frequency can be able to determine the data we have. We are talking about what? 30 students. So this is going to be 20, 27, and 30. So we are done with our frequency distribution of a quantitative data. So when the data is given to you and it is having is spread out too wide, you can put them into interval in order to group them and make them simpler. At times, the question will also give you the interval to use. And when the question is silence, you can also create an interval to summarize your data. So in this episode, we are only concerning ourselves with what? Frequency distribution table. And the columns are more than this. If questions will be asked on central tendency, the questions will be asked, the table will extend. Then we are all going to have what they call class interval and so on and so forth. When we move into the next episode, we will discuss what the class limit, a class interval, class boundary, and the class size is all about. Come with me in the next episode as we dive into that. Thank you for being here. Watch, like, subscribe. Bye-bye.